Hello, my name is Hannah, and today we are building a house on this lot near the ocean in Brindleton Bay. I was going to call it a boathouse, but it's really probably not. Couldn't figure out what a boathouse is. Well, I could. It's not that I couldn't, it's just that I haven't tried yet. So, that's fine. This is the fourth build that I've probably done on this lot. That's a rough estimate, I couldn't tell you. But it's a boathouse because that's what the lot is called, and that's what I'm going to call it because it's a fun word. Not sure really what constitutes as a boathouse, but it's next to the ocean, and it's on this lot called Brindleton Boathouse, so it's a boathouse now. But this lot is basically kind of like a cottage kind of thing that's like it's like got a lot of like wicker and like I don't know what's the word for the rugs that are also kind of like wicker looking. It's got like those kind of things, and it's got like a bunch of like brown and green like touches, and it's very cottagey. It's got a lot of that stuff on it, and so I thought it was pretty cute. It's also got this like medium kind of toned like brown mixed with this like green color, not the green color you can see right now because that obviously changes because those fences are kind of weird looking, and I didn't really like it. Also, the green doesn't match the rest of the green on the rest of the house, but more the green of the like blinds that I was putting on the outside of the house to mimic like shaders. What are they called? I've said them like 4 times in the last like couple voiceovers I've recorded. But those things, voiceovers are really fun, especially when you've done 2 and you've recorded over 25 minutes of talking and you cannot talk anymore. But that is okay because this will be a fun voiceover, and I just know that because that's how it goes most of the time. But I had a lot of fun building this house, especially because the inside is kind of my preferred style to build in and look at. Like, houses in like this style are like cute, and they're a lot of fun to look at, and this is like the kind of style like I would love to live in. This kind of house, like kind of cottagey, kind of like a bunch of like green and brown stuff. And so that was really fun. But I haven't built like a lot of them, but I've been building them a lot recently, especially because the Henford on Bagley cottage living has come out recently, so I've been building a lot of that stuff, and so I've definitely built some before then, but it definitely increased my amount of them since that pack came out. So it's been a lot of fun just building a bunch of cottages because cottages are so fun and they're so cute to like look at, and like especially like builds that I see like in real life. These are always like the ones that I find that like look the best to me. Obviously everyone has their like a different style like that they like, but this is kind of definitely what I would like, and also like the stuff that like I would try and make my bedroom look like if I had the funds to be able to do that, because stuff is expensive, but like it's definitely really cool. And like bedrooms that look like this that I've seen like on like Pinterest and stuff, really cool like that. It's really fun. But other than like the cottage vibe stuff, it also has a fairly weird looking kids room. It's not like weird, it's kind of normal, but the bed that I use is like a base game one, and it's like red kind of wood, like an orange kind of thing, but then it also has like green, and I just thought it was kind of like an ugly bed, but then I used it. Like, I think this is the first time that I've ever used that swatch of that bed because I just thought it was so weird looking. But with like everything else in this house and all the amount of like green that's in this house, it was pretty fine, and I thought it fit fairly well. But also like the walls in this house are like kind of like stone and mixed with like just like heavy like wallpaper stuff everywhere, so there's a lot going on in this house, but I still think it was pretty cool. Also, the fridge, I don't know like how to describe it other than the one from Cottage Living. I think there's 2 fridges that come in that pack though, but that's okay. But there's one of them that comes in a green swatch. I love that fridge. I've been using it all of the time, but especially in this like green swatch, and then I think there's like another like a blue swatch. Could be wrong though, but I love those swatches, and it's a lot of fun to just use them because like it's a lot of fun and they're very cute. So I've been using them a lot, but that's okay. I also used a mushroom for a coffee table. I think I've used that before, but like I think it is a coffee table. Could be wrong though, but like it's just so funny to me that you would put a mushroom in the middle of your room and use it as a coffee table. I don't even think you can set stuff on it because it's rounded, so that'd be kind of hard if you were to set stuff on the mushroom, but it's really cute, so I just used that, and it also matched the color scheme of the house, so that was really fun. But that's about it for the house, so we're going to move on to talking today. But last night I finished the 3rd Fear Street movie, which I've been like recommended a lot on like TikTok because it's all over TikTok, like, or at least the like videos that I've seen. It was like all over like a week and a half ago, or like around that time. It was like everywhere, and so I was just like, fine, I'll watch it. And I did watch them. It did take a bit though, because long movies take a lot of effort and also cannot focus for that long. They're like 2 hours long. It's not that long, but it's a lot to be like sitting there and doing stuff. So I was building, and then I was also trying to write, but you cannot write and watch a movie at the same time. That it did not work very well. So I finished it, and it was pretty good. I'm not going to spoil anything. Just putting that out there. I cannot spoil. I can barely tell a story. I cannot like tell you what's happening in a movie. Not going to happen. But it basically was inspired me to talk about like how like when I watch like movies, especially like things that are supposed to be horror movies, they're not necessarily like scary. They're more stressful to me, which is, it's fine because this murder's kind of stressful. But like any like horror movies, I haven't watched that many horror movies. Most of the movies that I like watch and stuff are not horror movies. However, like the ones that I have watched are like, they're not like, because they've got like murder and like, blood and all that stuff. That doesn't like scare me. It's more like stressful because I'm just like, ooh, that's just like, it's just like, that's wrong. Like, like when you're looking at it, like, don't do that, that's dumb. Which I've seen other people talk about, but it's just like so much to like process. And also, like, suspense really stresses me out, which I know is kind of like the purpose of horror movies, is like suspenseful stuff. But like not knowing what's happening until like most of the way through the movie, it's like, no, I don't like that. Like, I like to watch movies like over again. That's like the same thing with like shows and stuff. I like watching things that I've already seen because I know what's gonna happen, and then I don't get stressed about what's gonna happen because I already know. Which probably doesn't make any sense because like that's like the exact opposite purpose of what you're supposed to watch a movie for, or like watch anything for, is so that you like can like watch something new. But I'm just like, no, I would like to know what happens so that I'm not like thinking and stressed about it the entire time. And so it's very strange because the suspense and like all of that stuff is so much scarier than like blood being everywhere. Like the blood and like stuff and all that, like that kind of stuff does not bother me. Like, it's like stressful that they're dead, but like that's not horrible because like they're just a character in a movie. They'll be fine. That's pretty funny back there, but that's not like scary. Like scary, like people always like will like bring me to like scary stuff and then like expect me to like be like the one that's a bit scared of them, because I think I mentioned this around like Halloween of last year, because my friends or my cheer teammates brought me to one of like the scary like places like that happens like in like October and like around Halloween stuff. They brought me to one of those, and I don't really find those scary, which kind of sounds like I'm bragging. I really wish I could fit in with everybody else and think it was scary and all that stuff, but that's a topic for a different day. But it's really confusing because I don't find like people dressed up in costumes with a plastic knife in their hand sneaking up behind me scary, because one, I can hear them coming up behind me. Like, I feel like people who work in haunted houses need to learn how to step quieter, because I feel like I could hear them from like literally like 20 feet back. They're just like stepping behind me. I'm just like, okay, here comes dude with a knife, and then like everyone else was like screaming, and I'm just like over here just like, oh, I was supposed to scream. And it's really confusing, especially when you don't expect something to be scary. Like there, I knew going into it, oh right, I'm supposed to be scared in this situation. But other things, like movies, sometimes I don't know going into them that they're horror movies, or like that they're supposed to be like scary, or like sometimes when it's like sad, and then I don't realize it's supposed to be sad, and everyone's like, you're so like heartless and like stuff, like, because like sometimes I don't cry during movies, and people are like, how can you not cry? And it just doesn't make any sense. But like, emotions are really difficult, and so I'm trying to figure that out. But also at the same time, scary things, I guess that kind of like a cool thing. Like, you don't get scared at like scary things, but it also just doesn't make sense to me, which is why they're not scary. But then also with the whole like blood thing is not scary to me, which is fine because a lot of people aren't bothered by blood. But it's just very strange to me to like think about that and like all of that stuff. But that's about it. That's like all I had to talk about in today's video, so that's pretty much it. But it's almost screenshots time, so subscribe if you did like today's video if you want to see more videos like this. But as I said, it is almost screenshots time, so I post a new video every day of the week, so you can watch another video tomorrow. Bye!